And our lives have all been changed as we've had to adjust to living in a pandemic caused by COVID-19. I sat down with award-winning director Matthew Heineman to talk about his new movie, The First Wave, which honors the tireless frontline workers who work day and night to care for their patients during a time of great uncertainty in the first 4 months of the pandemic. Matthew, welcome to Great Day Washington. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Man, let me tell you something. Your movie is so needed. It's so amazing. What strikes you right off the bat, Matthew, is within a minute, you're emotionally broke down. Within a minute, you are already in the game, much like a nurse or a doctor with dealing with COVID. Was that what you tried to do from the gate?
We started making this film in early March, and I think we, like everyone, were just terrified by this, epidemic, and had no idea where it was all going to go. I think our original hope in making this film was to try to humanize this issue that was so, at that point, relegated to sort of stats and headlines, and frankly, misinformation. And so we wanted to show what was happening inside hospitals. And so, we set out to find a hospital that would give us access to film, and ended up following a doctor, a nurse, and a few patients over the course of the first wave in New York City.
We talk about the numbers, African Americans and people of color, how the deaths and how they're affected, but really image-wise on the news nightly, you didn't really see a bunch of African Americans or people of color, but this movie not only talks about that, it's perspective of a black doctor, and that's something I think that really was never, you don't really see. And I think, were you aware of that when this started, or?
We as a public were so shielded by what was happening inside hospitals. And I think if the general public saw how people were dying of COVID, saw what this was doing to the human body, what this was doing to families, I think the general discourse nationally might have changed. But we weren't seeing those images in those early days, and it didn't. You didn't need to be an epidemiologist or a scientist or a researcher. You just needed to walk around the halls of an ICU or an ER to see how this disease was really disproportionately impacting people of color. And so through our main subject, Dr. Duje, all of that comes out naturally in the film.
And Matthew, also the nurses, man, the doctors and the nurses. Again, I get emotional because seeing the film helps you understand what they go through, daily. But to see these people, this pandemic come in, and they have to face death every day, man, it really made me look at nurses and doctors differently. And like you said, we were talking about it, and having these political conversations, but the human element, we didn't see it. And when you see someone die, when you see a nurse have to process not just this person, but the patient that you just talked to 5 minutes ago who slips away, it gives you a whole different understanding.
It's so sad how politicized this issue has become. There was an alternate universe in which this disease brought our country together rather than further divided us. But that's not what happened, sadly. And I think, it was a terrifying film to make. I've covered conflict zones all around the world, but this was definitely the hardest, the most difficult film I've ever made. We're living the same thing that we're documenting. But I think, and I can speak on behalf of the amazing crew that worked on the film with me, despite that fear and despite that terror of going inside a hospital every single day, filming 16, 18 hours a day, we drew just enormous inspiration from the doctors and nurses that we were filming with. And, of course, it's a tough film to watch at times, but I think every single night we went to bed not feeling sad about the state of the world, but just deeply inspired by all these beautiful moments of connection and humanity, strength and resilience that we saw on a minute-to-minute basis every single day in the hospital.
The First Wave is amazing. Have your tissues ready. It's already winning awards at various festivals and scheduled to be released nationwide November 19th.